Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another fun show we've got planned for you here on the Comic Art Live channel. We've got Jeffrey Moy is going to be with us. We're going to be talking about his career in the arts, some of it in comics, some of it in film and gaming and other areas, and then we'll take a look at some artwork for sale. And I'm going to be educated throughout this because there's a lot of Legion art here, and obviously I'm not as much a DC guy as I am a Marvel fan, but you know, it's going to be fun, and it's nice to see a lot of new faces in the chat too. So I appreciate everybody tuning in today. And again, this is a rare opportunity because Jeff has been in the chat almost since the beginning of us doing this channel, so that's well over 3 years, and so this is the first time we get to have him on the show with us. So I'm not going to leave him sitting in the green room any longer. Let's bring Jeff in. Hey Jeff, how you doing, man?
Hey, good, great. Thanks for having me.
It's
awesome.
our pleasure to have you here because you've been in the chat forever, man. It's you know, and I feel like, you know, this is a long overdue hangout for us.
Definitely. I mean, it was great to meet you at that in Baltimore that one year. You weren't there last year, but you were there the year before, if I remember.
That is true. Yeah, that
Right.
was you were set up next to your brother, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm always set up next to my brother. It's easy that way, you know. It's like he can watch my table, I can watch his table, and stuff like that. Plus, we are competitive a little, so.
Oh yeah,
So
do you guys
kind of
like
boosts our salesmanship. Yeah, kind of, you know, it's like, hey, can I sell more than he can and stuff like that. But it's all fun though.
No. Do you guys keep track, you know, mentally throughout the year? Do you get like a trophy at the end of 2023, whoever had the most sales?
No. I don't really keep score. You know, it's like I think he keeps score though, so I don't need to keep score.
Well, I hate to say it, I do have you know, more of your brother's art in my collection than well, in my family collection than I have of yours, because he did that, you know,
Right.
the Powerpuff Girls, and I think we have like 4 of his covers here in the house because my all my kids loved that show.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
So, but we're going to talk about you.
Your collection. Okay.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you know, it's funny, you know, you have a fair amount of artwork on CAF. I think like over 800 pieces, and a lot of it is you know, stuff from cons, of course, but there is published work out there as well, but a lot of convention sketches and commissions and whatnot. But still, that's a pretty sizable number of pieces out there. I mean, for you know, for somebody whose published career, you know, isn't you know, say 30 years long, that's a lot. I mean, there's published artists that don't have anywhere near that many pieces on CAF.
Well, I think having the 5 years on Legionnaires, you know, really kind of made that possible. And I think at the time it was kind of like you know, our team was kind of like one of the last artists that, you know, kind of remained on a book for more than a year, or because at that time, you know, it's like books were still keeping the numbering system and the title going on, and not just like cutting it after 2 years or a year even, and then restarting it and stuff. So it's like, yeah, so I think we probably have the longest you know, art team run on the book, you know. But I mean, Paul Giffin's like, you know, or not Paul Giffen, Heath Giffen was, you know, he's you know, doing art and writing and stuff like that. But I'm not quite sure on the numbers, but I could be wrong. So,
well, 5 years is a long time to do a series, and
it is
the same characters. It's, you know, it's that's rough, but you must have really enjoyed it. But before we get to there, I mean, why don't we talk a little bit about how you got in the comics in the first place? Because you know, I mean, was it predestined, you know, at the
no, you need the origin story?
I need your origin story as a creator.
I think you know, I think all comic creators, you know, they kind of started out as you know, reading the comics. So, you know, you're just reading the comics, and at the time it was like, you know, work in a restaurant, family business is a restaurant, Chinese restaurant, or you know, try something else, you know. So it's like I've been working in the restaurant since I was like 12. So it's like, you know, during school and everything, it's just kind of like, is there something else out there that, you know, we could do and stuff. And so actually, you know, my brother and I kind of had the same kind of outlook going forward, and it's just like, hey, you know, art's fun to do, and you know, we're just sitting around drawing in our notebooks and creating these little ash cans of comics with some friends and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what led us to, taking an interest in actually creating these things.
So what year, I guess, would you have been actively trying to get work, published work into comics? When did that start?
So I graduated in high school in '87, and then graduated college in '91, and then from like 1991 to 1993, I think it was end of 1993. That was the kind of the create the samples, create copies, mail the samples to DC and Marvel or any other
Mhm.
publisher and stuff like that, because this internet thing didn't really exist. So it was all old school stuff, and it's kind of like it was really about making connections, I think, at conventions and everything, because you had the editors there. They could review your portfolios. You could talk to the other artists, and one of the things that it's like that me and my brother and my friend Corey Karani, what we did was, we really liked the Gaijin Studio guys,
Mhm.
Brian Stelfreeze, Adam Hughes, and those guys, and so we kept in touch with all of them, and then and kept sending them samples and stuff, and then eventually one day, Carl Story gives me a call, and he was the inker over Chris Sprouse on the Legionnaires title. And Legionnaires was a title that I loved to read and stuff like that, because it really kind of harkened back to the Legion that I knew. And yeah, so he calls me. He's like, "Hey, Chris and I are going to be leaving the book. It's like, you want me to put you in touch with my editor, because I guess the copies that we would send down to Gaijin Studios, they look good enough,
Uh,
so why not give this guy a go, since he loves the Legion and stuff." So that's kind of the through line, of trying to find work, and then all of a sudden this huge break just kind of drops into your lap. But I think if I didn't make those connections and stuff like that, that wouldn't have happened.
mhm. Now, during that time when you were sending samples to the team at Gaijin, you also started collecting original comic art too, right? I mean, you've been collecting since the early '90s.
Actually, I was collecting. The first piece I bought was, I think
Oh,
I want to say, I think I was still in high school. So,
wow.
and it was a John Byrne page, and you're thinking, it's like, well, how can this kid afford a John Byrne page, a Fantastic Four John Byrne page? And it's like, but it was only $75. So back in the late '80s, I think like '85 or '87 or something, because I had a book from John that John Byrne did on like creating comic books and stuff like that. And I kind of like saw how he like did his backgrounds and stuff, drawing out the perspective lines and stuff like that. And I was at a Chicago Comic-Con one year, and there were these guys that were just kind of hanging around. They were kind of flipping through a portfolio, and it's like it was the original comic art. It was crazy. Yeah, that's the one. So it was like original
$75. That's great.
$75 from David Applegate.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations
So
on that. I'm glad you still have it.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I've rarely parted with any of my collection, till now, because it's like it's getting pretty big. Where it's like, yeah, there are pieces in here that just don't, it's like that kind of Marie Kondo thing where it's like, does this bring me joy? It's still nice to look at and everything, but maybe someone else might enjoy it as well. And there's some artists that's like, yeah, I have a number of pieces from them already, and some pieces, just mean more than others.
Right. Yeah, I saw Marcus. No, that is not for sale. I'm just browsing around the gallery
You
today.
want you want it for $75?
Yes, he would like it for this.
Yeah. But
Um,
actually on that John Byrne page, yeah, it's like you could still see these faint pencil lines
mhm.
of his drawing, of his perspective. And so so in high school, that's when I started to kind of really think about, taking up art as a not as a, just to get better at art. It's like I was taking art classes. It's like all that stuff, all the process stuff, just it's like appealed to me.
But I know you've always been a fan of Adam Hughes. right?
Yes,
got a few
sir.
pieces
Yes, I
behind you.
have.
Now,
Yeah,
that,
that was early on. Yeah, it's like I first started reading him on like May's Agency,
mhm.
and then when he made the big jump to Justice League, yeah, that's when he started taking off, and it's like I was able to get some commissions and stuff like that for pretty affordable prices compared to today. So
So you were seeing
yeah,
him, you were getting the commissions at shows, I assume?
yeah, he would I think at the time he lived in New Jersey, and then there were these small shows put out by Greenberger. I think they were like one day shows, just kind of in a hotel, you know, ballroom kind of thing, small hotel ballroom. And they usually fly like one artist out and have the one artist there, and then Adam was doing commissions for I think $20, you know, for like an 11 by 17 pencil figure or whatever, you know. Pretty nice stuff. And then and then
It's a little
his
more for
line,
those today.
yeah, his line was long, and he didn't take a list either. So everyone just kind of stood in line,
Mhm.
you know. And then Adam, I think Adam, you know, it's like he couldn't, the guy just couldn't take a break, you know. You know, it's like he didn't. But I think, yeah, since he didn't take a list, you know, it's kind of like, well, all right, I guess we just have to stand here, you know.
Mhm. But I'm sure
Right.
you met a few other collectors that way by hanging out in line.
Yeah, yeah. I met a couple artists too, you know, in like the portfolio lines as well. You know, it's like, you know, we're just trying to, you know, to get that big break or whatever, or, you know, show our editor, show our stuff. And so we're showing stuff to each other and whatever. So, but yeah, it's like, yeah, it's you talk to people, the other people that, you know, it's like, hey, what do you like about Adam's stuff, or what, who else do you like, and whatever.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. I see you have a Debt of Honor page too. I've got one of those myself. Those are huge.
Uh yeah, I have I think I have 13 pages of that story.
13 pages. Okay, I just happened to see one while I was
All right.
looking in your cap gallery.
All right. You want to hear that story?
Sure. Yeah,
No.
exactly. Yes. How could you have 13 pages from there?
So
Please.
this is how you get 13 pages. Debt of Honor, you know, it was in the works for a long time.
Hmm.
So we'd see pages every now and then from Adam at shows and whatever. And then once a graphic novel came out, then you know, you immediately get on the line and talk to Adam and say, hey, you know, it's like whenever you get some pages, you know, let us know so we can kind of, you know, put a little reservation in or whatever, you know. And so for a while they didn't get the pages back, and then they said at San Diego they were going to be getting the pages back, all the original pages back at San Diego Comic-Con. I forgot what year that was, maybe 93, 94. When did it come out? 92.
I don't
Yeah.
recall.
But yeah, so we all get into town,
92.
and I think it's like Thursday, I think it's Wednesday evening or Thursday evening, and then we called up Adam's hotel, and then said, hey, you know, it's like, do you guys have the pages yet? You know, do you have the pages for sale yet? And they were like, you know, we just got them. You know, we're gonna be going. Carl and I are gonna be, you know, splitting our share or whatever. And then, but if you guys want to come up to the hotel room, you know, hang around while we're doing that, you can. So that's what we did. So so we're
So you
talking
took
with
13
Brian.
pages that night at that show. It wasn't like you got
Not all.
there.
Yeah, I probably picked up like 9 or 10 of them.
Wow.
This the page you see on the screen is, yeah, I actually had to buy that. Actually, that one was the one that I really wanted, because the Doomsday Machine is like my favorite episode,
Hmm.
and you just got some great likenesses with Dr. McCoy and Uhura there. And but yeah, but when it kind of came to say, you know, when that page came up, I said, you know, you know, can I take this page? And he's like, no, it's reserved for someone. And I'm like, oh crap. so so I thought I was out of luck, right? And
Uh-huh.
then I'm walking the show. I should probably finish the story first. So the pages. So Adam and Carl are splitting up the pages, and they're, you know, it's like this one, whatever. And then kind of the second they split it up, they just kind of said, "Okay, guys, you know, go to it." And there's three of us. It's like me, my brother, and Corey. You know, and then yeah, we just kind of like locusts on those pages. So yeah, and at the time, at the time, yeah, those went for like $75 a page. So, which is
Well,
crazy.
I mean, the thing is, you can look
Yeah,
at them today, and they're still kind of affordable when you compare it to other things that Adam's done. But I mean, I think they're amazing. I've owned a couple of them,
yeah,
and have held
yeah.
on to
So this
one.
page, yeah, so this page I was reserved. I was kind of bummed about that, and then I was walking the floor at San Diego. I went over to Mitch Bikowitz's booth, Graphic Collectibles, and then there it was. I was like, oh, I guess he was saving it for Mitch, you know, to sell. And so it's like, okay, Mitch, how much you want for it? It's like $140. Okay, I'll buy for $140. You know?
Well, that's cool. But I mean, over the years, you picked up other stuff from Adam too, right? I mean, don't you have I think I recall you
Right,
saying
yeah,
that you have a few
there's,
sketchbooks and things. You know,
yeah, I do have,
you got a piece up on
so
the
this
wall
is
there.
the Fairchild poster. This is
Yep.
Brian Stolfre's. This was a plate for the Warner Brothers store. And then, yeah, so this was a Fairchild poster, and it's, and so, yeah, so I have a number of his sketchbooks. And again, you know, I'm kind of a process guy. So it's like going through someone else's sketchbook and just kind of seeing, you know, how they think about drawing, how they think about constructing a figure and stuff like that, layouts, thumbnails, you know, it all kind of gets absorbed in to my brain to, you know, kind of hopefully, you know, kind of add that to make me better.
Hmm.
So yeah, so looking at a lot of his sketchbooks, it's like there's a lot of the prelims for that painting back there, and they're all gorgeous tone pencil drawings and stuff like that. So, and those sketchbooks I kind of got from Mitch Ikowitz, and one when I got off of eBay. So
Hmm. Well, you're
yeah,
lucky, man.
I'll have to do like a flip video, and then you know, and then people can see what's in these sketchbooks. I make them so incredible.
I would love it if you did that, honestly, because I've gotten to see one, or maybe two. I think I've seen two. Um, yeah, a friend, a an art rep I know has one. So I've seen that one, and I did see another one from a collector. So, but they're incredible, like you just
Right.
said.
And all,
Yeah.
yeah. And all mine are still intact. You know, it's like there's been other collectors and maybe some dealers that have, you know, taken out the pages or split them up and stuff like that. And that's a shame, but you know, I can understand it. You know, it's like if you think you can get more, you know, with the individual pieces, then yeah, it might be worth it to do that. But I'm gonna preserve them as they are, because even though they aren't like full sketchbooks, I think Adam would do like commissions inside them, and then he would like tear out the page,
Hmm.
because a lot of commissions, bunch of commissions I have are like on kind of like the sketchbook paper,
Right.
and some of them even had the you know, the tear tabs from when he ripped it out of the sketchbook. So
Right. We did
I
do a
don't
lot
think
of
I
cover
don't
prelims in those, like you
yes,
said.
yes, it's
Well,
gorgeous
so
work.
yeah, well, we could have had Adam on. We could have talked about what it was like meeting a young Jeff Moy before he got
He probably
Legionnaires.
thought this guy was a little shit.
He'd be like, I remember that day when those three descended on our Star Trek pages.
Yeah, yeah. It was literally like that. You know, it's like after they split it up, you know, they kind of, you know, because they were splitting it up on one of the beds,
Hmm.
and then you know, once they split it up, you know, Adam just kind of moved off the bed, and you know, and then all of a sudden it's just like three guys looking at a bunch of pages and stuff. So
Wow, that's awesome. But so back to the story though about getting into the Legionnaires. Then is that so Carl recommends you to the
yeah,
editor.
Carl recommends me to Casey Carlson.
Hmm.
He was the editor at the time. And at the time, Casey had me do a couple of samples, you know, to see if I could, you know, draw an action scene or something like that. So he said, you know, you could have a couple of Legionnaires fighting, maybe a couple other bad guys or whatever. And then I think I went on full bore and did uh, the Legionnaires fighting the Fatal Five. So there was probably like 10 characters at least on there. So
Well, you
in
must
this
have done really
big,
well, right? I mean, to impress them, to allow them to give you that shot.
yeah. So yeah, and then so he said it's like can I have you do another sample, but maybe with just a couple characters, So
All right, you can draw a brawl really well, but we got to see if you
yeah,
can handle a few
yeah,
talking heads, kind of thing. So
right.
cool.
Yeah, you could throw, it's like, yeah, you could draw 20 characters on a panel. Yeah, that's impressive enough. How about something with 2 people? Yeah. So I did that, and then that led to a fill-in issue on Legionnaires number 15. And then later on that year, I got a couple little. I did half of the Legionnaires annual number 1, which was part of the Elseworlds storyline. Yeah, the Elseworlds theme of annuals. And I did some pages. I think I did about 5 pages in the Legion of Superheroes annual number 5. With that was kind of the Wizard of Oz one, and the Legionnaires annual was more of a Arthurian knight kind of thing. So, but in the future.
So
I think,
was there ever, in the 5-year run, was there ever temptation to leave the book, or were you really just that thrilled to be on it?
It's like it's your first big break. It's a team that I loved, and like I said, it's like the Legionnaires title was more of what I was used to, because I read the old adventure comics, the Kurt Swan stuff, the Jim Shooter wrote the stories and stuff like that. So this was the team that I knew on the Legionnaires book. It's like I never got around to reading Paul Levitz or Keith Giffen's stuff, because it just never really, I felt like many people, it felt pretty deep to jump into that the Legion of Superheroes pool, So so getting on the book, it's like a dream come true, and it's like you can't really get, in my opinion, you can't really get tired of doing a team book, because there are stories that can be explored with like a handful of characters, or maybe just one or other character. It's not like you're drawing Spider-Man or Superman every day for for like 5 years. It's like we've got a roster of like 30 characters, so it's so it keeps it fresh. So that's what I like about it.
So so then, after working on it for 5 years, what happened? I mean, what led to the the end of your tenure on the book, and then where did you kind of go after that?
Yeah, so after a while, yeah, even to me, maybe the some of the stories didn't feel quite as strong, or didn't have a good direction. But as an artist, I didn't think that I could like really give any input into the story, but I guess you could. It's like the editors are welcome to hear that, but at the time, it's like I didn't feel it was like my place to tell a writer what kind of stories they should be writing and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's a different world today, though, Jeff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so there was a change in editorship. So Mike McAvenny, the editor, the former assistant editor, got promoted to editor after Casey Carlson. I think he left DC at that time. So he left DC, and then so Mike McAvenny was the editor on the last like 2 years, I think. And then I think they just needed a shakeup, and that happens, So it's like we got to shake up the feel of the book, and then we got to shake up the creative team as well. So we'll bring in some new writers, some new artists, and they brought on this guy. His name's Olivier Coipel or something like that. I don't know, some French dude.
Yeah, I don't know if that guy had a good career in comics or not.
Yeah, what's he up to today? Huh? but yeah, so he got his break at DC. I think
Mm,
that was his big break, and then yeah, for him it took off. But I think the stories, I think the direction that they gave the book, it was a little bit darker and stuff like that, but they did kind of maybe tap into more kind of like superhero-y sci-fi kind of stuff maybe that we weren't doing at the time, because I was all about just hey, it's these fun characters, let's just do fun things. So
no, well, I mean, I did, I picked up, I wasn't a strict Marvel fan back in the day. So I did pick up Legion was one of the few books that I would pick up every once in a while if I liked the cover on it, and it was a team book and it was easy to get into, I didn't have to know a lot about the characters to be able to enjoy, a good team story. And so no, I totally get that. But
right.
yeah, so after the stint on Legion, then what was next?
After a stint on Legion, this is at the time when the comic book industry was kind of imploding. That there was just a glut of titles, a glut of like variant covers and stuff like that, and the speculation market was, I think, kind of dropped out. So
Hmm.
so there were a lot of comic book artists, creators looking for work, and yeah, I was one of them now. And again, at the time, I didn't really good way to kind of keep your career going in comics is to well, either be really hot, and then work will find you, or you team up with a writer or something, and then you have a project that you can pitch to an editor. So that's something that I didn't really realize at all. So in that time, it was I think then I kind of jumped over to I got a call from Scott Peterstadt, and he was thinking about trying me out for or to have me do some filler pages for Gary Frank on Gen 13.
Hmm.
So I worked because I knew Scott Dumbier um, when he was selling art,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
because you were
he
buying
became
art
an
from him,
editor.
right?
Yeah, I was buying a lot of art from him too. A lot of Atom pieces that yeah, I kind of got lucky with. Yeah, I think yeah, this one back there was was one that I got from the Wildstorm Fine
Yeah,
Arts.
Scott made a lot of collectors happy back in the the mid '90s. I mean, for sure. I mean, his
Oh
name
yeah,
comes up a lot.
yeah, yeah. He was a major source. Yeah, so it's like I did some stuff over at Wildstorm. So that got me some work on Gen 13. Um, I think I was proposed by Scott to Jim Lee to pick up uh, Gen 13 after Gary Frank was leaving, but I think Jim Lee already had like Ed Benes picked out for his guy.
Hmm.
But it's like I got to fill an issue, so I got to do a fill an issue, and then that led to some working with Jeff Marriott on the first Wildstorm comic book um, yeah, the first Star Trek Wildstorm comic book that dealt with Voyager. So because
Okay.
I'm a big Star Trek fan. I mean, it's like Gen 13's a yeah, fun group of characters too. So that might have been pretty fun, but it's like honestly, it's like I really like Ed Benes on the book too. So so it's like well, it's got a pretty good team already. It's like what am I gonna add to it? So
Mhm.
so yeah, so I'm a big Star Trek fan as well. I got my phaser ready to go. So
Yes,
yeah.
you are a Star Trek
I'm even getting a Star Trek uniform made up right now. So,
Isn't
uh,
your calf avatar you something Star Trekky or no, it's
oh yeah.
Terminator. I'm
Oh
sorry.
no, that's Terminator. Yeah.
That's right.
Uh,
What is it? I know there's one around somewhere on some of your socials where it's something related to Star Trek, I think.
yeah, I think,
It's your whatnot. That's right.
right. Yeah. So that's a next generation uniform that my friend that's going to be making the Wrath of Khan style uniforms for me. So yeah, that's That's how big of a nerd I am. So for Star Trek. So yeah, so I did that one Star Trek book, and then again, it's like it's freelance, so you're just looking around for work all the time. You're calling editors, and it's like I said, it's like if they don't have a fill-in issue ready to go, then your timing's off. So then coming back from a convention in New York, after and visiting the DC offices and Marvel offices, I think. No, I think I just went to DC. But yeah, and then I come back, and then Jeff Marriott's like saying, "Hey, it's like, uh, are you interested in doing another Star Trek book, with Star Trek Voyager?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay," and so he's describing this book to me, and he says it's an adaptation based off the video game. It kind of needs to be done quickly because they just kind of got thrown the project thrown at them.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's like so I'm already approved to do the Voyager characters, right? So he doesn't have to find someone else and get them approved to do it, because he had to kind of get the Janeway or the Kate Mulgrew and Jerry Ryan likenesses down right. Much like with TOS, it's like William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, you have to get right. So yeah, so it's like, so he's describing this, and it's like it's based off of a video game that's coming out, and I'm like, wait, there's a video game, a Voyager video game, you say? And it's like, well, we know. So this is where Mark Nelson comes in, because Mark Nelson was our instructor at Northern Illinois University. He left Northern Illinois University, and then he moved up to Madison, Wisconsin, and he was working at Raven Software, who made games like Soldier of Fortune and Heretic, and
yeah, that was where they got started, right?
Yeah, and so they were they were acquired by Activision, and then they got the Activision had the license to create Star Trek games. So it's so they were making the Star Trek Voyager game, and I'm like, it's like, would this game be made by like Raven Software? So at the time, yeah, it's like before that, it's like we would visit Mark up in Madison, since it's only a 2-hour drive from Chicago, and we'd visit him and get a tour of the studio and talk to some of the people at the studios and stuff, and it was all very interesting. But yeah, but then it's like, oh, these guys are working on the game. It's like I can just pop over, get all the reference I need for the game, talk to these guys and whatever. And then so that's what I did to work on that adaptation. Yeah. And then after that adaptation came out, the game was delayed. so then I guess we could have had more time to work on the book, but that's fine. It turned out all right. But that got me familiar with, or my name in front of them, because it's like I'm working on an adaptation of their game.
Mm-hmm.
So then again, after kind of not having any work for a while, and visiting Mark again, and just kind of hanging around the studio, the Raven Software studio, I went to the art director over there, and I asked, hey, you guys looking for anyone else? Because they already had Mark Nelson, they had Jeff Butler, who was a TSR guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
They had Les Dorscheid, who's a TSR guy. Well, yeah, he was a TSR guy and also a colorist on Kelly Jones, some vampire, the Batman books.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they got a really good talent pool going.
And they were seeing your work already, because you were going in and looking at reference and probably bringing and doing some of your work there, right? Or at least bringing some of your work.
No, I didn't bring any work ahead of time. And at the time, I didn't know how games were made. So it's like I had these screenshots that they gave me, and then it's like I just kind of drew what the textures on the wall were like, but I didn't know those were just temporary textures. So
Mm-hmm.
so I was off on that. But no, it's like they yeah, Brian was like, well, I mean, we don't have anything right now. We don't have any openings right now. It's like maybe in there's like maybe in 3 or 4 months, we might have something going on, because we have something coming up. So yeah, I waited around and eventually called and said, yeah, okay, send out some samples, see if we could, just to show what you could draw. It's like, show you the comic book, but so I sent them some old Legion samples or whatever, and then and then yeah, so I was brought in as an environmental artist, concept artist on for a Star Wars game. So that was like, yeah. So that started my career over at Raven Software.
And I had your, I know your art station has a fair amount of your,
oh yeah,
kind of gaming, environmental work, like you were just mentioning.
Right. That's a game called Singularity. That was a Raven. That was an actual Raven property. That it was ambitious for them, but they were under tight deadline, so it had to just get done. And I helped out on that. And a lot of this is just done on digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you got to be fast for this stuff.
Yeah, that's that was another thing that once I started working on this Star Wars game and everything, it's like I think I impressed the studio heads, the art director and everything, with how fast I could just kind of churn out environments. And then one day, Mark Nelson came over to me and he put his hand on my shoulder. He's like, "Mr. Moy, draw slower." Because Mark's
making everyone else look bad.
Yeah, Mark's kind of in the same boat. So.
Oh man. Well, and did you draw slower?
No. I usually have one speed when I'm going, and that's just to me it's like you do the best you can in the time you're given, so it's like if they need this, because the concept is really the starting stage, right? It's like it kind of gives the impression of what the level is going to start to look like, and so you have to kind of be faster in order to get all this stuff together so it can be handed off to like modelers and then texture artists and animators and stuff like that. So you really kind of have to just crank through a lot of stuff. And yeah, this stuff's for the X-Men Origins Wolverine game adaptation of the movie. So, and honestly, I think our game was better. So
than the movie.
Yeah. Well, that's a general consensus.
Yeah. You're not going to catch me disagreeing with you on that.
Right. Yeah. So these character design, I didn't do character designs all that often for Raven. I was mainly an environmental guy, but every now and then, I'll get a chance to do some character work.
Derek says it kicked ass.
Oh yeah, it did. I mean, we were full bore with with the dismemberment and the gore and because it's like you could pretty much blow Wolverine onto a skeleton, and then we would have the effects of him like regenerating. So it'd be like you'd see muscle kind of, the muscle layer and then the skin layer and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Although he always kept like a pair of shorts on, So.
Well,
has
this been like your main thing since since you got into it, or have you gone back into comics every now and again, or what would you say your focus is last 15 years?
It's kind of a mix. It's like I didn't get that much comic work after, so I was at Raven for almost 10 years. The 2007 2008 collapse, recession or whatever happened, and then everyone was really tight on doing any projects and stuff like that. So so eventually there are going to be layoffs at companies, and I was one of the ones that was laid off. So, but I liked Madison enough, and so I stayed here. So because I could go back into doing freelance art again. And there's other game studios around the Madison area as well that I could try out for and stuff. So yeah, during that time I think I tried going back into comics a little bit. I did a Star Trek Legion of Superheroes crossover for IDW.
You have a couple
In
pages from that, I think, right?
yeah, 2011 or 2012, something like that. So that kind of helped. But you know what? It's like the pay rate for comics even then was kind of not as much as I was getting at DC. So even DC, I mean, even DC, suppose even this partnership with DC, it's like an IDW. It's like DC actually kind of kicked in some more money to get creators on the book and stuff like that. So
that's so then the last 10 years though, keeping yourself busy, different ways. I know, I know you get out to a fair number of shows every year. But in between that,
I mean, I was doing shows. I was doing San Diego for a while, and except for the past, I think in like 2017, I stopped going to San Diego because it just wasn't the show itself kind of changed, and I just wasn't like even making close enough to what it costs to spend almost a week out there.
Right.
So I cut my losses there, and I kind of only really did shows around the Midwest area or places where I could drive to fairly easily. I think Kansas City was the farthest one at the time that I went out to, and that's about a 7-hour drive from Madison. So not too bad, what else did I do? Oh yeah, I drove Uber and Lyft for a bit.
Well, that's a change.
Well, the change, I did that because it's like I found myself getting, because when you're working in comics, it's like you have to have like a certain amount of self-discipline. You kind of have to be able to get up in the morning, be organized and stuff like that. And I found myself kind of losing that, and I just kind of be lazing the day away. And it's like I thought, if I had something else that could kind of like bring in some money while gets me out of the house, and then I can then like work on art in between, something kind of part-time, and that's when Uber and Lyft were really kind of starting to take off. Rates were actually pretty good for drivers. You could make some pretty decent money, as opposed to now.
I think that'd be a lot more fun than going back into the restaurant business that you started out in back.
Nah. I left the Chicago area to come up here to kind of get away from that. It's but Madison is nice because it's close enough to visit, but far enough not to have to deal with all that stuff. So
I forget where Snorik is, but isn't he up in he's somewhere in Wisconsin? I
know he's in Madison, I believe.
Okay. I thought he was nearby there. But have you guys ever run into each other at a brew pub? I know he frequents those a lot.
No, I don't know. He said he saw me at Target one time.
So. He saw you at Target, but he didn't want to be like a stalker, so he didn't walk over.
I don't know why. It's like I was thinking about asking him to come over. Hey, you want to come over, hang out?
He's got a lot of art to look at, that's for sure. I mean, he's always picking up new stuff. That's funny.
Yeah, he picks up. I mean, there's a lot of, that's the thing about nowadays. It's like there's a lot of cool art that doesn't necessarily have to be totally comic related. That interests comic collectors and different styles, and it doesn't have to be the style that's traditional comic book work and stuff like that, which is interesting to me because it's like usually comic collectors where it's all about the comic art. It's like you have the comic pages that you have the original art that made the comic pages, and that was the thing to have. But nowadays it seems like it's really kind of changed where it's just is that a cool shot of Wolverine or someone or Spider-Man, or then no,
commissions are definitely making commissions and convention sketches, and that,
even though that artist didn't do any work on the book.
Right. Well, but that's what's cool though, and I think that the internet's probably changed that, right? It's getting those artists' work in front of people. You're getting to see them work on characters that they're not, you don't associate that artist with, and that's cool. I mean, like today we've
Mhm.
got a couple X-Men pieces, that you did commission style or convention sketch style,
Right.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's always fun because you might like that person's style, but you want to see their take on your character, right? So uh, I've gotten a fair number of Thors, just for that reason, right? Just seeing
Right.
some people work on characters that I really like that you're not going to get a chance to get a published page from, but
Oh, for sure.
yeah. No, but that's I agree with you. And we were talking about like the sketch card collectors and those sorts of things. I mean, by and large, they're not always published, and yet they're fun. There's a huge subset of collectors that are into that. There you go. See? I know you've sold those on a few Whatnot streams, right? You've
Yeah,
got
these are on sale for Whatnot right now.
okay.
$30. $30, you can get them. And these were warm-up sketches, It's like
Hmm.
I'd warm up the evening. There's a free fall, and there's an anime called Free Run, and there's a character from Free Run. So
Now,
yeah, sketch cards.
what's your Whatnot schedule like? I mean, you have a pretty regular show going, right?
Yeah, usually a weekday show.
Mhm.
Tuesday night will be the sketch card night, and usually I do about 10 sketch cards, and then either a Friday or a Saturday I'll do a sketch cover or larger commission show,
Mhm.
and that'll either fall on Friday or Saturday because sometimes Friday I go out and have a good time with some friends and stuff like that. Go to the comedy club. So.
Well, you can't sit in front of your drawing table all the time.
Well, believe me, I don't. I'm fairly relaxed nowadays. I don't really need to hustle as much as other artists kind of have to do.
Mhm.
And I think I'm lucky in that as well because working in video games, kind of got me a decent amount of stuff to kind of bring in some passive income.
Right. I mean, you get royalties, I assume, from some of the games that you've worked on, and
No, not. I mean, I
no.
don't work for the companies anymore. No.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I'm
but
sorry.
what they did have was stock. So
Ah, okay. Well, then that's that's almost as good in an own way, as
yeah.
long as the company continues to do well. I used
Right.
to be a big gamer, and there was a time when I owned stock in like an Activision, Sony. Uh, there were two other companies I owned stock in, and the thing is, I picked the wrong time to buy it because I thought, oh, this will be fun. Games are always going to be popular, and
Oh,
I'm
they
going
went
to
up
get held on to
high.
this. They just stayed. Yeah, they were kind of high, but then they just flattened out and maybe started lowering a little bit. And I finally ended up, I went the more conventional Microsoft and some Apple
Blue
stock.
chip. You went blue
Yes,
chip.
exactly. I went well, and I actually I think I might have. You know what it was? And this I regret this to this day. Was so I also owned Nvidia stock. I was like, oh, Nvidia is a good company to put the
Oh,
money in, but Nvidia, it was like when it was at 100, and it stayed that way forever. So I took it out of it. Look at it now. I missed
right.
that train. So, but
Yeah. If only we could tell the future.
but that was like I just had an epiphany one day. Yeah, I'm just going to invest in the gaming companies and the products that I love, and I saw Nvidia and all that and Activision and things. But yeah, it was
Well, I
always
mean, that's like with comic book or comic art collecting. It's like you just kind of buy what you like. You don't really think
Mhm.
about the investment potential of it.
Yes, exactly. Maureen once told me, she goes, invest in Budweiser. Everybody always needs to drink beer. So I put some money, not a lot, but I put it in there, and it's just like it just stayed flat. I'm like, yeah, it was, there's,
Right.
so I took it out of that after a few years. But yeah, I'm never going to be a savvy investor, but um,
Well, now
but
you got to look in green technologies like batteries and solar panels and
yes, exactly. Oh man, but
invest in Zevia.
invest in Zevia. Yes, if only I could, Jeffrey. I don't know if they're probably not out there yet.
I don't think they're public.
No, no, but hey, I
Uh,
keep buying it. I do keep buying it. I do love
right.
my Zevia. Hopefully
I
next
have
year we'll get
water.
them as a sponsor for OAX.
Mm.
Cheers, everybody. See, um, Maki Poo Poo
Should
only
I should
invest
have made
in mutual
I
funds.
should have made an old fashioned for the talk.
So,
Hey,
I know we
I
started,
can day drink.
you could daydream. Yes, you can. So, well, that's all of us who are self-employed have that luxury. That is. I've been pretty. I say pretty regimental. I tend to not have anything alcoholic until after my last show of the day, because I know I'd
Ah,
probably screw it up pretty royally if I didn't. But let's see. So why don't we? We can do part of the art sale now. We can get it started. We got. Are you cool with that now, Jeff? Or is there?
sure.
We miss out on anything that we should talk about before we do the art sale? Because I know we got you have your whatnot stream, Art Boy Moy. For those of you who don't follow that, I'm not a big whatnot guy yet, but I like their platform. I think they've done a very good job, assisting creatives and others, with a nice regimental system to work from. Because I see some stuff that people do on like Facebook with claim sales, and it's just so off the wall and helter skelter. And I think Whatnot at least has found a way to like create a system that you understand when you go into it, right? And it feels
Right.
easy to use, and it's got to be easy to use on your end as well as it is for the buyers. I think that's probably why you use it.
Yeah, I think Whatnot is a pretty decent platform. There's still things that they don't have between the app and the desktop version. Being able to watch like previously recorded shows.
Hmm.
Because if you go on the Whatnot app on your phone and or tablet, you can watch you can bring up my profile and then you could watch the past shows, and you could kind of scrub through them and see, you could watch the art being created, and I think
Hmm.
that's a big draw for a lot of collectors as well. But yeah, it's like and their commission rate is it's not, to me it's not a lot. I think it's like 10 or 12%, that they take.
Well, that's less than eBay.
Um,
eBay's at like 13, and auction
yeah,
houses by and large are over that these days.
it's been a while since I put anything up on eBay, and I think at the time it was like 5% that they were taking. you know.
Yeah, well, 13 is probably with the credit card, but still, they're at least at 10% now. So
Right.
yeah, it's.
Um,
I think a lot
oh,
of
hey,
people.
here's
Mhm.
another thing I did for fun
Yeah, what's that?
after leaving Raven. Uh, Being close to Chicago, they do the Chicago shows like Chicago PD and Chicago Med and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And so my friend down in Chicago, she got me into being a background extra, and
Okay.
I still do it because so if you ever see like some of the Chicago shows like Chicago PD, or this
All
is
right.
from Chicago Med. This is I won't focus, but yeah, this is a scene starting out, and you got that's Samantha Merkerson from like Law and Order days. That's me. so
Yeah,
so
which pixel are you? Says Jeffrey C. It is a
I
little
tend
blurry. What are you gonna do?
yeah I tend to look for a role like being a cop or something like that. Some kind of role, not just a pedestrian in the background or anything like that.
Right. But how many speaking parts have you gotten?
Oh, I don't speak. You're just a background extra.
Well, I
You're a
know, but
non-union.
you could be shouting something that we could do.
Yeah, okay, you can, but you gotta be like, you know, and you just pantomime the whole thing,
Mhm.
because you're not supposed to talk at all, so that's so to me as a creative person, I actually get into again the process. It's the
Mhm.
process of you got like 30 people is putting this one scene together. And you got the actors coming in and doing their part, and you got the lighting, doing theirs. You got the assistant director, and the lighting guy and the cinematographer. They're all, bringing this one scene together, which is to me, it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting, but it's not for everyone. There's a lot of waiting around and stuff, and but the food's pretty good. So
You get a free lunch or dinner out of it, or
you
breakfast.
do
Yeah.
usually, yeah, yeah.
Well, that's
Breakfast burritos are pretty good.
man. See, so you do lead a very interesting life, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
Well,
I'm trying to have fun.
I think that's awesome, man. That is great. It's cool that there's actually a things close by from film and TV productions that you can actually do that. I mean, that's not going to be.
Yeah.
I doubt here in Orlando I could walk out and get on get into some kind of a background acting status. Nothing.
Maybe at one of the theme parks.
Maybe at one of the theme parks.
They're doing their stage show, and then you could just be. You could do the Pirates thing, Bill. You got
I could, yes, exactly. I could double for Captain Jack. At Disney every now and again. Or no, I'd be one of the guys that would just fall in the water, when the ship gets hit with a fake cannonball or something. But
so if anyone's flying Delta this year, they actually filmed the Delta safety video up here in Madison in the Capitol Theater, and I was a background in some of those shots.
But you're sitting on the plane, so you're.
No, they're actually in a theater, so it's like the crew is they're kind of like pretending to be like ushers, and the audience are the people, the passengers, and they've got like people putting seatbelts on and stuff in the theater and whatever, and we're eating popcorn and cookies and
right
opera classes
just like that.
Yeah, so it was an interesting concept, but it's like I didn't have to drive down to Chicago, and I was like, thank God for that. So
that's fun. Well, yeah, that's you've got a lot of things going on, man. That's great.
I do.
So yeah,
all right.
Yeah, so let's do the art thing now. So I'll give everybody the ground rules so they know how this goes. The same as all the other shows we do, and I should let everybody know I have most of the art. I think I've got all the published pieces, and I have one of the commission style pieces. Jeff has 4 of the commission style pieces, so he'll be the one shipping those, and I'll be the one shipping the other ones. So if we have some like crossover, we won't charge you. If somebody buys one that Jeff has and one that I have, we won't charge you double shipping. We'll just work that out. But let me show you the details on the show here. Let's see here. So claims, if you claim anything today, I want you to email me after the show, bill@comicartfans.com, and let me know which pieces you picked up. It's always good when you do that to include your mailing address, and if you're already made that decision, how you'd like to pay for it, because I could get an invoice out to you right away. We want payment within 48 hours of the invoice. I saw Margaret was saying, if you buy multiple pieces or something, can we get into time payments? And we're always fairly flexible with that kind of stuff. So if you do pick up some multiple pieces today, we can definitely work that out. We prefer to get Zelle and Venmo, and I'll even take a personal check in the mail if you put it in the mail on Monday, just to avoid any fees. Because if you do have to use PayPal, we do a 4% fee on U.S. Sales and 5.5% on international. So we love avoiding those if at all possible. And shipping is $30 for domestic and $65 international. And so even though it says fulfillment will be handled all by me, that of course isn't true, because I just told you that 4 pieces are in Jeff's possession, and we'll be splitting that up. But I can tell you, Jeff, you did the mystery sketches in May, so Jeff got all those turned around and shipped really quickly. He's used to doing this, everybody. He's got a Whatnot stream, for crying out loud. He knows.
I am a professional.
Exactly. Yes, package deals, says Jeffrey.
Package deals. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, we don't do package deals here, but we do. We do combine on shipping. We can say that. Alberto said he got a mystery sketch from you, Jeff. That's awesome.
Yeah, but you don't know what character he got.
I do know what character he got, because Alberto buys the most mystery sketches every time, and it's always the same character. But it's shows his love for that character. That
Definitely.
Yeah. But are you going to do? I meant to ask. Were you up for some mystery sketches in May?
Oh, for sure.
Time? Okay.
Yep.
Cool. We are definitely, hoping to have a few more, artists, participating. And, I know we work with a few reps, but it's always fun to bring in some non-repped artists and just kind of have them come in and work with us. Ben Templesmith did a couple last time, and Brereton, Jeff Isherwood. So, we talked with a few other people at OAX. So, we just want to mix it up, make it interesting, and make the mystery more of a mystery for people when they're buying them.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'll be up for more.
All right, awesome. So there you go. So that's the deal, everybody. We got 19 pieces, 19 lots to look at. Every slide will have a the lot number on it. So all you got to do is say claim and the lot number in the chat, and it's yours. First one to claim it, I'll highlight it, and that's how we do these things. So yeah, we'll just get started. So just so everybody knows, I'm actually put a couple of the commission pieces at the front and a couple commission pieces at the end rather than having them all together. And I bookended it with 2 X-Men pieces, so I had something to talk about at the beginning and the end of the sale to make it easy for me. So the first piece we've got, lot number 1, is the Rogue Commission, and this is one that Jeff has with him. It's on 9x12. It's priced at $250. And honestly, when you look at this is kind of what you could expect from those mystery sketches that you did, Jeff, because I think when I saw those, when I got to see the 3 that you did, they were all pretty solid and colored, and this is an example of your work doing that.
Yeah, this is what I'm creating nowadays on the Whatnot streams with Copic marker. It's all Copic marker with some brush pen and some whiteout. Yes, there's a gap there.
It's a small gap, but there is one nonetheless. It's not like the thigh gaps that we've seen from some other pieces on the channel in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, and John, hey, my good friend John.
Hey, awesome. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Oh, so you know John as well, then?
I think it's yeah. John's I've known John. John's picked stuff up from me back in the Legion days as well, I think. I could be wrong.
John has good taste. I think he's been collecting for quite some time. We had we did a collector interview with him, gosh, over 2 years ago, it feels like. Man. But thank you, John. A nice way to get us started.
Yes, thank you so much.
Broke the ice early for us. So one more commission piece before we get to the published Legion pieces. This is an 11x14, and this one is with Jeff as well, Harley Quinn, and it is priced at $250 as well. And yeah. So and I meant to ask, like, when you go to shows, do you pre-draw a lot of pieces like this, like commission style stuff, or do you just take commissions? What's your usual makeup when you go to a show?
It really depends how much time and how much how much I think about doing stuff before a show. Usually I don't do much before a show because it's like I've got other commissions I'm working on, and sometimes I'm just lazy. So because I do consider myself kind of semi-retired, so it's not pressing to me to
Jeff, you're a year younger than I am, and you're telling me you're semi-retired.
In my mind,
okay,
it's because it's just me, so it's like I'm the only person I have to kind of worry about or think about. So
all right. I guess
right now,
if I didn't have 3 kids, a wife, and a big mortgage, I probably
you got
feel that way too.
Yeah, you got that responsibility thing going on.
Yes, I do. Yeah, for a little while longer at least. But all right. Well, this one's 11x14, lot 2, priced at $250. We'll check it out. I always recap things at the end if they do not sell. Let's see.
Yeah, I just want to say, when I was doing this Harley, it's like to me Harley Quinn she's not like the Joker, so she's not like she didn't fall into a vat of acid or anything like that. She's so to me she just kind of wears makeup on her face, and then the rest of her is still, I guess, human or whatever. So that's why I kind of had the shift in skin tone, if people were wondering, or people preferred an all white Harley Quinn or not. So.
No, I think she's lovely. She's definitely not as insane as the Joker. So
right. Yeah, so this was a piece that I kind of I do have like a print wall that I like to set up at shows, and usually that was driven by Patreon. But Patreon, and then so it's like the patrons would suggest characters or whatever, they'd vote on characters, and then I would do it, and then if I thought it was good enough, and if they would get like enough attention, or if it was if I think it could sell, I'll make a print out of it. So
Sure. And I did forget to mention at the beginning of the show that I put most of your socials in the show description on YouTube. So your
Oh,
Patreon
thank
is
you.
listed there, as is your ArtStation and your Whatnot live stream. So anybody who wants to follow Jeff on his other platforms, the links are all in the bottom of this screen right now, and you can do that after the show or during it, whatever you like.
Yeah, please check them out.
All right, so now we're going to get into the Legion art, and we've got 14 pieces of Legion art here. I know, and all very fairly priced too. I think lots of good stuff in here. I mean, the thing is, not being as familiar. I mean, I think your work is, during this period is fantastic. I mean, looking at the characterizations and the faces, I can see why you were perfect. For the run on the book that you had, because I think you really enjoyed working on those characters.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's like, since the characters are like teenagers and stuff like that, it's like, I got a lot of comments when I was starting to work on the book, that it's like I actually drew them looking like teenagers, as opposed to, like, it's like when Kurt Swan drew them, they look like, adults and stuff like that.
Yes.
But I probably forgot to say, but my style I kind of say, when I was developing my style, it's like I loved Adam Hughes's work, so much that I, tried to draw like him for a while, and
I
really
can see a little bit of
that
that
was
in there. Sure.
realized that was, pretty much an impossible task. so then I started adding other influences, like, John Byrne was a major influence as well. And then but anime and manga, it's like I was heavy into that in the 80s and 90s, before it became mainstream over here. So what you're seeing is, that medium taking, having an influence on the comic book medium at an early time. And then I think you really started to see it kind of explode with artists like Joe Madureira,
who went into gaming after comics too.
Yeah, that's his passion.
Yes, it is. All right, well, let's take a look at some of the pieces then. We have 14 published pieces to look at, and I kind of kept them in alphabetical order based on title. So we're going to start off with the one adventure page that we have from 526. This is page 5. We've got it priced at $225. It's on 11 by 17. It's lot number 3. So I think this is kind of just indicative of your style, just clean and really, really beautiful. And Aiden Lacey has jumped in and claimed it.
Well, thank you, Aiden. Yeah, so if you didn't know, XS is a character that I co-created with Tom McCraw, and I think Mark Wade might have had something in there, but if you look up the wiki, it's Tom McCraw and me are credited as co-creators. And this character actually made it onto the Flash show in another sort of way. XS is actually the granddaughter of Barry Allen. And in the show, they made her the daughter of Barry Allen and Iris, so they called her Nora. But
well,
that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so this is one of the stories I got after leaving Raven. It was just like an 8-page story that Paul Levitz wrote, and actually Paul didn't really know the character all that well, so I'm not sure why they did the story, because this is like her last appearance, honestly, in this story. So until, maybe we'll see her come back. I don't know. It'd be nice.
I'm gonna give everybody a word of advice, because obviously claims can happen really fast, and everybody could be at a little different point in the stream. There is if you're on YouTube, and I think most everybody is, right straight below my name in the lower left-hand corner is the word live. If you click that, it should bring you as live as possible to us, because we're about 5 seconds ahead of most of everybody in the show. But there could be some.
We're in the future.
Yes, but some of you could be, lagging behind other people in the chat. That's always kind of, it happens. Like if you join like after 10 minutes of the show, you could be buffered to a certain point that's a little bit behind people who've been here since the beginning. So now that we're here and the claim portion of things, hit the live button, and if you're on your desktop computer and you hit refresh on the browser, that's going to get you as close, as you can to everybody else. So that way, because some people I saw mention, that the claim happened before the art was on the screen. The thing is, the chat's going to be in real time for you, but what you're seeing on the screen beside it could be lagged behind the chat. And so that's why you see a claim happen before you see it. So it is problematic. It's just part of what we deal with here. But by and large, everybody has the same playing field with regards to claims. So now that I've talked long enough for you to do one or two or both of those things, I hope everybody's as up to speed as possible on this. All right, so we'll go ahead to lot number 4. And we're switching over to Legionnaires here. This is from issue 32, page 9. And this one's priced at $225. And I like it a lot. I love the structure of the page, but I love the last panel with the reflection in the guy's visor.
Right. And this is the thing about, about comic book, being a comic book artist, is that you're supposed to be able to tell a story without, needing the word balloons there. I mean, we're lucky here that we have the word balloons, and it's my preferred way of seeing a comic book art page, that it has the words on it. But it's like without the words, you can kind of tell what's going on. So to me, it's like it kind of adds to the medium itself. And this here you see is the beautiful ink work of W.C. Karani, or Corey Karani. So, and who claimed that one?
We got Nick Perucci got in there before Gabe Carino on this one. So congrats to Nick.
All right. Congrats, Nick. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And see, I can see a little, in the female figures and even the guys, I can see that little bit of Adam Hughes, feel there. But your inker might have had a little bit to do with that too.
Yeah. Corey's a very clean inker as well. He can, I think when I was working with him, I think the cleanness of Carl Story's lines were kind of coming through, and he was a big fan of the Legionnaires title as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's move on to lot number 5. So this one's priced at $250. Legionnaires 36, page 18, and lots of great characterizations on this one. That last panel, again, it's fantastic. But just a really fun page, and it's on 11 by 17, like all of these. Oh,
yep. Hey, did Margaret get it?
Margaret got it. Congratulations, Margaret.
So she got a page with the founders on them. So, and I think you got the Manel in the background there too.
Not bad.
And yeah. So this page had
Margaret. That's true. You've been in the first. I love it.
Yeah, it only took Legion art to kind of really get her going. So.
Well, that's wonderful, Margaret. Yeah, Margaret has been a strong. She's been in the chat for as long as you have, practically, Jeff. I'd say, she's been around for a long time, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, and Margaret is a regular on my Whatnot streams, and I appreciate her being there all the time. She's like, very dedicated, and I don't know, I don't really deserve it, but thank you anyways. I appreciate it.
Well, she's broken the ice for herself now. So we'll go ahead and take a look at lot 6 next. Then we've got this one's at $300, and this is from issue 40. It's page 11 on 11 by 17, and it's got a few more characters on it. It's got this big eyeball that is a little bit menacing.
The Emerald Eye, man.
Okay, see, I didn't know the Emerald Eye. I assume that is that a Green Lantern reference somehow?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. See, there you go. Me and my bad DC knowledge, but let's see here. We've got a few claims. I just want to make sure I get the right one. Margaret came in just ahead of Mike PF 2525 and Nick Perucci. So,
wow.
So there you have it.
Wow. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to make any more semi-unknowledgeable reference. Things that I think.
We should be teaching you about all this stuff. So the Emerald Eye is it's an artifact. It's a magical artifact, and the Emerald Empress is a character that wields the Emerald Eye, and she's part of the Fatal Five. And I think they've made some animated features with the Fatal Five and stuff like that. But here we have, in our timeline, we have the Emerald Eye actually possessing one of the Legionnaires. And so that's what's happening on this page, is that she's confronting all her teammates.
Well, this is a great page. This is probably like my favorite page in the set. Just the art's fantastic, and again, yeah.
And I have to say, I have to also say that there were some things that's like I wasn't used to drawing, like babies, and like amphibians and frogs and reptiles and stuff like that. I was not familiar with drawing creatures and babies.
Well, this is how you got your feet wet, and then you moved on to gaming, and then the rest is history.
Right, you got it.
All right, so let's take a look at lot 7 next. So this is from issue 42 of Legionnaires, page 16, and this one's priced at $250 and on 11x17 again. And so it looks like some flashback storytelling going on there in the last 3 panels.
Yeah. So what I think is special about this page is that it's kind of a mini recap of the character kinetics, and so you kind of have her going through her origins and what she went through in the book a bit. So I think it's a nice page for that. And I see that Aiden has claimed that one too.
Yes. I knew there were some Legion of superhero fans out there. So I think the only one that we've not heard from is Mickey. I haven't seen him today, but that's okay. Yeah, Mickey has more than enough Legion art.
Right. Mickey has a lot of Legion art because
he has one of your covers, if I'm not mistaken, or at least one.
Yeah, it's like he might have one of the only ones that I sold out there, because I've only sold maybe 1 or 2 covers out of the whole run of Legion covers that I had, and I know that Corey hasn't sold any of his covers. So,
well, that's cool. Yeah,
but Mickey actually he bought a bulk of Legion art because I had a lot of pages just kind of sitting around after a while, and he's just kind of like, it's like, any pages that you don't want, I'll take. So like. So that was
there is that one right there is Mickey's
right.
The one Mickey has. It's one of the more most commented pieces of yours on CAF, actually. That's a pretty fun cover. There's some covers that it's like, you can, it's one figure, but it's a nice image of one figure, and there's something going on. It's kind of telling a story in itself, which I like about covers. Heck yeah. This one is not for sale, everybody. Again, this is in Mickey's collection. I'll hide that one. All right, we'll go back to the sale then. Let's see. I think I've got lot number 8 to go to next. So this is from Legionnaires, issue 48, page 11, it's $225. This is has a fair number of characters on here, but it's not a battle page. This is one of the ones that the editor wanted to make sure you could draw. Just a lot of characters at a table talking, and it's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of talking heads. This meeting room was kind of a pain in the butt to draw a lot of the times. It had a circular table, so that kind of made it harder. But so you got a lot of members of the Legion of Superheroes, and then you have this kind of little side shots, this side scene with some cool looking aliens of the science police, and Mordru, the big bad Mordru, the magician, kind of appearing behind them and about ready to take him out. So I think a good dramatic page. And did Nick get that? Nick got that. Thank you again, Nick.
Pick that one up. Thank you.
And actually, I did work for Nick as well. I did work on signing a bunch of Star Trek Voyager. What was that story? I forgot the name of the story. The first Wildstorm book. Nick had us, or was it Dynamic Forces? It was Dynamic Forces, wasn't it?
Dynamic Forces, yeah.
Yeah.
Nick's has had access to many different properties over the years.
Yeah, so we signed about I can't remember how many books we signed, but there were a bunch of books that we signed, and then sent them back to Nick to sell at Diamond.
Well, we'll move on to lot 9 next, and this is from Legionnaires 50, page 32, and we get some brawling going on here, but not with a lot of characters, just with a few. And this one's priced at $300. So
this is a Violet, kind of the character that was possessed by the eye, kind of taking control back over herself, and trying to convince the eye to fight against Mordru. And this one's inked by my brother Phil.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Phil would help us out every now and then. It's like if we had a tight deadline, or if we just needed to kind of get ahead in the book and stuff like that, then he would either jump in on inks, or he would help out by doing a fill-in issue. So Phil doing the fill-ins. So
very good. Well, Mike PF 2525 got that one just ahead of Aiden, Eternals, and Nick. We're all
congratulations, Mike.
Yeah, congrats, Mike. So
so Mike's a friend too.
Oh, good. Well, this is
we'll see Mike out at Planet Comic-Con next month. It's Planet Comic-Con's 25th anniversary, so it's a pretty big shindig.
Nice.
And yeah, excellent. Thank you so much.
We're just past the halfway mark then, so we've got lot number 10 next, and this is from Legionnaires 55, page 13. It's priced at $225. Yeah, this is, again, nice. I love the space station kind of occupying most of the page there, and then just kind of insetting some of the storytelling to go along with it. I mean, it's very cinematic.
Yeah. And then that's the way you gotta have to think about it. It's like you gotta be in that mindset of, you're framing up a picture and you're kind of making a mini movie or storyboards and stuff. And here you get some more wonderful Koi Karani tapers, those nice clean tapers that he gets. And if you like snakes, this is a page for you. A page for Nick.
A page for Nick. Yes, claim number 10. Thank you, Nick.
Snacky.
And next is Chameleon Boy and Feral Lad and Wildfire. 3 faves of his.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's cool.
Let's see here. All right, so that was 10. We're going to go over to 11 next. Another published page, of course. This one from Legionnaires number 69. This is page 14, priced at $200 on 11 by 17. Get a little bit of action going on this one. So tell me a bit about who are the characters on here, since I don't know any of them.
Okay, so the characters on here, there's let's see, is that monstrous? Okay, so the character that's kind of bouncing around, that's the energy character. She's a character that's named Lori Morning. She was actually on one of the earlier pages, but she was temporally aged up, and then she was de-aged, so she's only like a 13 or 14-year-old girl. But she somehow became in possession of the H dial. I don't know if you know what that is, Bill.
I don't.
All right, so the H dial was something cool from the 60s. It's a dial, and it spells, and there's like a bunch of buttons on it, and it spells out hero, Hero. And so it's like if you would click on one of the buttons, you would become a superhero with superpowers of different kinds for like 24 hours or something like that. I can't remember. But all the superheroes that were created were supposedly submitted by fans. So,
oh, wow.
So that was something that they were doing back then. It's pretty neat, fun original idea. So Lori has this H dial, and she's been using it to become various superheroes, to help people out. Yeah.
Well,
it's just a fun page.
Marcus thinks I'll be an expert by the end of the show. I don't believe I'll be an expert, but I will be a little bit more knowledgeable.
And Aiden got this one. Yeah, excellent.
Yes,
thank you, Aiden.
Yes, thank you, Aiden, as well. So we got five more published pages to look at. So lot 12 is next. This is from Legion of Superheroes 89. I think you had it as 98, and I went back and I double checked and made sure because it had 89 on the board, and it's 89.
Oh,
it's 89 okay. page 14, and it's priced at $225. And because I went online to read it, I read this issue. It was a good issue. So
thank you.
17 on this one.
Yeah,
as well.
Actually, so Legion of Superheroes. Well, Legionnaires is a sister title of Legion of Superheroes, and so I'm assigned to Legion of Superheroes. But my favorite character is Spark, or Ayla, or Isla, however you want to say her name. And so the editor knows this, and he's like, "You want to do the fill-in issue on Legion of Superheroes because it's a spotlight on Ayla. So, or Isla, yeah. So
Either
I
works.
jumped over. Yeah, so I jumped over, and then I can't remember who took over on our book. It might have been Phil. Phil might have done a Phil issue. I don't know. But yeah, so back then Lee Motor drew the sand girl with a ponytail. So I continued that.
Well, we had a few people interested in this one. A. Williams got it. Nick Barucci tried, as well as TDM 797. But Nick's got that one, and then or A. Williams has that one. I'm sorry. And then I was
Oh,
reading
A.
in the chat,
Williams.
Aiden Williams, or Aiden Williams. Yeah, I'm totally a mess. I need more. I need more Zevia. Clearly, Aiden Lacey said that on the Claim 11, which he did. He said, "Please send this to Margaret as a gift. I will
Oh
pay."
my God! Thank you, Aiden.
That is so generous,
Aiden
Aiden.
is
Thank
very
you.
generous.
Well, you've made Margaret's day. She claims her first artwork and gets her first gift via the chat today. Thank you, Aiden.
Thank you so much.
Um,
You're making Margaret is she's a new Legion fan, because she wasn't I don't want to say she wasn't born when we were doing it, but is that true or not? I don't know. So she's a new Legion fan, and she loves Legion, and we need more fans like her out there.
Absolutely.
Oh, and Legion, and Margaret saying she wasn't born. She was born in 2002, so I was off the book for 3 years. So
Well, that's
that's
awesome.
how old these pages are. I should have been saying, and this page is 30 years old.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And
But they
they
all
look.
look great. They're still in
I was
great
just going
shape.
to say that same thing. They look beautiful. I mean, because I do have all the published pages here, and they're all in fantastic. There's no dings on these. They're really, really clean. Yeah, everybody's going to be very happy. Oh, and
Yeah,
one thing in this one, I should actually even show this one off, just because I forgot. This was the one that did have an overlay on it, but and so the scan doesn't show the overlay. But I mean, it's obviously A. Williams picked this one up. But here, let me hide the slide, just so you can actually see the. So there's an overlay that obviously comes off, but it has some of the effects and stuff on it.
For Cosmic Boys rings, correct?
Exactly. There we go. So
Yep.
that comes with it. And you're right. What is it? The stamp on the back, 97.
Oh, that
You got your old Illinois address on the back of here.
Yeah.
Anybody who gets these pages, don't go looking up Jeff at that address, because he's no longer there.
Don't go looking at that house. I don't live there anymore.
We're moving on to lot 13 now. So let's see. This was from Legion of Superheroes annual number 5. So we're kind of out of the Legionnaires now, and we're over to the annual 5. You mentioned you got to do something for this earlier in our interview. This is page 50 from that. It's priced at $200, and you'd have to tell me about these characters, because I'm not sure who we've got on here.
So these characters are Legion characters, but this was an Elseworld story, so they took on the persona of like the Wizard of Oz characters. So in that top panel, you have Brainy. You have Brainy, who he's kind of the was he the Scarecrow character? Yeah, he's kind of the Scarecrow character, because Brainiac doesn't have a brain. And then you have I guess it would be like Timberwolf as like the Cowardly Lion. And then Ayla was Dorothy. I think Monel was kind of the wizard, I think he was kind of the wizard. And then you had Wildfire as a Tin Man. So,
well,
I think there's a little Violet sitting on her shoulder, but maybe she was Toto. I don't remember.
Oh, I do see. I didn't even notice her before. Now I can't unsee that. All right. It's funny. You look at art, and then there's so many things you miss unless you're taking a deep dive on it. But Margaret, thank you. Nick was also interested in this page, and Steve Priest just said, looks like Margaret is having a great day. I believe so. Yes. Congrats to everybody who's picked up stuff. We got at least 6 or 7 different collectors who picked up pieces today. So let's see, 3 more pieces that are published, and then we've got 3 commission style pieces to follow that. So lot 14, this is from Legion of Superheroes Annual 6, page 20, 11 by 17. It's priced at $400. fun piece here. Now, I mean, it looks like a pinup, but I'm assuming it wasn't. And Jeff is momentarily frozen. I can see in the screen. I'll wait for him to pop up in here. Somebody in the chat would have to explain this one to me. But let's see. We've got a lot of people trying to claim 14, and boy, this is like watching Dino's first time on the show. But I'm going through it just to see, and it's Mike PF2525 that came in ahead of A. Williams, Jim D'Amico, Margaret, Nick, Michael, Aiden, Mickey's in here, TDM, and Rich Donnelly. Maki Poopa. Boy, this was one I think a lot of people were hoping. Prize of the day, says Marcus. And yes, Jeff just dropped himself out. He's probably going to pull himself back in a second. He's missed out on all of the action. So Jeff's back here. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. Maybe my camera's overheating or something.
Well, this was the most desirable piece of the day, and I think there were about 12 people that tried to get it. So,
wow, okay.
But Mike PF is the lucky person who got this one.
Oh, congratulations, Mike!
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mike has an awesome Legion collection as well, and he's been getting pieces for me over the past decades. So.
I had almost 30 years of opportunity to get it from you, but
sorry you had to wait so long for this one.
Well, there we have it. So thank you, Mike, and everybody else who was interested in this one. That's great. So let's see, we've got lot 15 coming up next. 2 more published pieces to go. So these are we talked about this, the Legion of Superheroes and the Star Trek crossover. I think we've got a couple pages from that. This is lot 15 at 300. And what year was this done?
This was done, I think, in 2011 or 2012. And Phil's the one that inked it.
Oh, see, that's cool, man. You get to team up with Phil. I saw one of your top commented pieces of art that you have on CAF was a piece that had one character drawn by you and one drawn by Phil. I thought that was awesome.
Oh yeah, actually, there's sometimes people will commission both of us to kind of do a collaboration, a collab. So.
Well, you guys are sitting right next to each other. It just makes sense, when you're at the same show to do something like that. I mean, I bet you've got a few of those out there on CAF and in the wilds.
Yeah, we do. There's every now and then people will kind of commission them outside of shows, and then we'd have to like kind of coordinate, when to meet and stuff like that. But yeah, sometimes it's like people will get them done at shows, and then some people will have us do some of those like head sketches for the like a big board.
Sure, or like a jam piece or something.
A jam piece, yeah, that's it, jam piece. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, listen, thank you, Aiden, for picking this one up.
Yes.
Nick, Eternals, and Mickey were all close behind. I mean, I'm sure not more than 2 seconds separated everybody. So congrats to Aiden on that one. Now we got one more piece to go. This is also from the same Legion of Superheroes Star Trek. This is from issue 5, page 6, priced at $250. So
yeah,
showing your ability to draw characterizations here. So 11 by 17 as all the rest. And how many issues were in this series?
There originally was supposed to be, well, actually they gave me a choice. It was weird because they gave me a choice. Then they said you could do 5 issues for this rate, or you could do 6 issues for this rate. And I said, because I mean, either way it would have been the same amount of money,
right?
But it'd be I was thinking about the story, and I said, it's like, well, let's, don't have to cram everything into 5 issues. The interesting thing about this story is, and it kind of really threw me, was the new way of storytelling. So, and to me, the new way of storytelling was to take a kind of a simple story and kind of stretch it out for 5 or 6 issues.
That is the way of the day.
Because that was the thing. It's like, yeah, because when this was proposed to me, when they sent me the proposal and they sent me the outline, I read the outline. I said, okay, this looks good. And then so after reading the outline, I was like, well, we could do this, will happen, this will happen, or whatever. But it didn't. It just stuck to the outline. So I was like, I was kind of disappointed, because it's like there was so much in this universe that we could have explored to see how the Star Trek universe and the Legion of Superheroes universe, kind of was mashed together. And yeah, that's my only disappointment with the series, was that there was so much potential to have really cool stuff out there.
Well, it turned out some great artwork, and A. Williams has claimed this one. Just ahead of Aiden and Mickey and Nick, and even Marcus tried to throw a fun claim in there.
You got a hot Shadow Lass on there.
Yes, she always was rather hot. Even as a Marvel guy, if I saw Shadow Lass, I thought, maybe I should be picking up this issue to learn a little bit more about these characters. That was my 16.
I think some of the Greg LaRock Dream Girl on the cover, I think that kind of got my attention. At least pick it up and look through the book.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we got 3 more pieces to look at, and then 1 piece to recap so far. So we'll take a look at now. These are convention sketch kind of pieces, all colors, so they're all fantastic. And I figured I'd keep with the Legion theme for lot 17. So you get the founders in this one on 9x12, priced at $275, 3 characters. This it's beautiful. I mean, it's I think Margaret mentioned earlier that she loves your use of the color purple. You do put a fair amount of purple in this one, and it came out great. And we've got TDM.
Oh, thank you.
Has claimed.
Hey, TDM, thank you.
Thank
you so much.
797. And don't forget, everybody, anybody who claims any artwork today, we're going to want you to email me after the show, bill@comicartfans.com, and we'll square everything up, set up the payments, and collect your shipping information. And yeah, we're very easy to deal with once this thing's all over. But congrats on that one. So 2 more to go here. So this one, I know you've done some sketch cards of Erica Slaughter before. So we have lot 18 priced at $200 on 9x12. And are you a fan of the book? Jeffrey looks a little frozen in the camera again. That I can see, because I can see the cameras in the back end of the studio.
I think I'm dropping out again.
Yeah, yep. Well, we can hear you now, though. Creative Keep has popped in and claimed 18.
Oh, hey, great. Thank you, Creative Keep. Yeah, this is so actually Erica Slaughter is a character that I really wasn't familiar when someone had me first draw her, and then but then I ended up reading the book Something Is Killing the Children, and then I just like the book a lot. It's really kind of got that Stranger Things kind of feel to it. So
it's a slow burn. I enjoyed it too.
that it is. This last storyline, someone was telling me, it's like, no, the last storyline's still going on, because I'm just reading the trade paperbacks, and so it's like I'm waiting for the next trade paperback to come out.
Yeah, nope, I'm the same. Hey, we got 100 people watching the show right now, so thank you for doing that. We appreciate having you tune in, and hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. And if you like shows where we you get to talk a little bit or chat a little bit with creatives like Jeffrey, please consider subscribing to the channel, because we usually do 1, sometimes 2 of these a week, and interspersed with all the other things that we do here on the channel. But thank you, Creative Keep, for that one. We've got 1 more piece that you haven't seen yet. This is lot 19. It's Wolverine on 9x12, all color. This is something like you would have done for the mystery sketch that we've got coming up, again in May. So yeah, I love it. And the blood's just a fun touch, because everybody knows there's no blood on those blades. It's only on the wall behind him. So we don't know if it was Wolverine.
Yeah, the blood is just. Yeah, it's not his blood, so that's all that matters.
Well, and Creative Keep came in ahead of Maki Poo Poo on that one. So thank you, Creative Keep.
Wow, thank you, Creative Keep. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
this is I kind of try to get him back more to the kind of like the Hugh Jackman, Studley Wolverine. I kind of like the old squat kind of furball Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. seeing stuff like this though too, I can see what you're always going to be very desirable at cons and stuff for sketches and whatnot, because it's just this is the kind of stuff people want to get when they're commissioning an artist at a show. So you definitely deliver on it.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, well then,
those were a lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad you did them. So we actually have one piece that didn't sell. So it's almost a sellout. We'll re-show it. It was lot number 2, and that was the Harley Quinn piece. And this is an 11 by 14. I think most of the other color pieces were 9 by 12. So this is an 11 by 14, priced at $250. And yeah, it's the only piece we have left. So Alberto says he claimed it above. I missed. Oh shoot, I did see. I'm sorry. Alberto.
Did we miss it?
I didn't notice that. I was too focused on the claim 19. So Alberto picked this thing up.
Wow.
Cool. So here, I'll even highlight it so everybody can see. Alberto, thank you. He made sure we'd get a sellout. Well, man, what a generous group we've had in here today. Thank you, Alberto. That's awesome.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Seriously. I honestly didn't know what to expect. It's like when I thought, because you kind of try to do research and what I'm charged for commissions and stuff like that, but I don't really know what Legion paid.
Well, now we know. I mean, there's there's always been a few
for a second, but
yeah, your internet's stuttering a bit here towards the end, but the thing is, there's definitely, we all we knew it. There's a core group of Legion fans out there. So yeah, I mean, but this was great. It really was fun, Jeff.
But they have a lot of it already. It's like I guess it's like me and Adam Hughes art. So it's like you can't.
It's an addiction. I mean, it really, I don't quite understand it yet because of the Legion stories I read mostly the Giffen stuff, end to end. Just because the art was amazing and it just caught my eye, right? But anybody who's a fan of Legion is a fan in all caps of Legion. So yeah, this was great. I mean, seriously, everybody, thank you so much for helping us make this a sellout. And do email me, bill@comicartfans.com, if you picked up any of the pieces today. Maureen and I are supposed to have an early dinner today, so if I don't email back immediately, it's only because I'm having dinner. But I will get back to you before the end of the day with with the total, how to pay, and we'll get it all squared away. But Jeff, this was great. I mean, we should we should plan on sometime another doing this again in the future. But certainly you will be working with us in May on the mystery sketches. So I hope to get you a few more of those.
I will for sure. And I will be so Kazra has that thing going on next weekend. So I'll be going out bringing some couple portfolios of art from my collection to show. And not my work because I'm not big. So
now I think after today you could bring a few pieces of your own, and I think some people would, even if they're not for sale, because clearly it sounds like you've been holding on to some stuff. I think so. That was some of the fun things that happened at OAX. There were some artists that brought some pieces that weren't for sale, but they knew the collectors would love to see it.
Okay.
So, it's always up to you. But mentioning that Chicago thing, I do have a slide here. Is basically Kazra is going to be in Chicago for 5 days next week, and on Friday evening at 7 p.m. Chicago time, he is going to be doing a collector meetup at a place called Club Lago. The owners of the restaurant are longtime art collectors, probably been collecting longer than I've been collecting, and several other collectors in the Chicago area are going to be there, including Jeff. So yeah, it's a good time. And if anybody is in the Chicago area and would like to hang out with some like-minded collectors and an artist as well, I would encourage you to reach out to Kazra. You can email him at kazra@oa-expo.com, and make an evening of it, because I think right now I believe he's got like 16, 17 collectors that are going to be there. It could balloon up to like 25 by the time it's all done.
Yeah, you're saying at least you should probably make the reservation for like 20 people.
Yeah, sounds like.
Yeah. So I'll be in the Chicago area as well for there's a small one-day show called MightyCon, and that's in the DuPage County Fairgrounds.
Okay.
And that's a one-day show, so I'll be there on the Saturday, March 2nd. So.
Oh, cool. Well, then it works. You're getting extra work done while you're there. So, all right. Well, fantastic, Jeff. Well, listen, I thoroughly enjoyed getting to hang out with you after all the times that I've talked. I've spoken to you while you're in the chat. You actually got to
Yeah.
speak back to me directly. That was great, man. And
Yes.
I do hope
Yeah,
to
this
get
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's why we definitely should think about doing it again sometime in the future. And I think we'll have a good audience again. 100 people tuned in today. That was that was a nice size audience for a Saturday afternoon. But
I tried to spread the word. So.
Well, thanks everybody again. Yeah, we appreciate
Yes.
it, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. And again, Jeff, thanks a lot, man. It was a lot of fun.
Great. Thank you.
All right, have a good day, everybody.